The Go Henry Debit Card for Kids, is it a scam? Is it not a scam? Do I recommend it or do I not recommend it? And how does it compare to its competitors like Greenlight app and also the current debit card? And the first thing I do want to say is this, guys. The current card is out the window because last time when we tried it out on the channel live, it wasn't good. It wasn't great. It was actually terrible. So that's out the window. So the only competitor we're actually going to talk about today is the Greenlight versus the Go Henry Debit Card for Kids. So the first thing we're going to do is this, guys. We're going to talk about in this video about the pros and the cons, and we're also going to call customer service live and actually test out the entire system and see if it makes sense or if it doesn't make sense. So stick around till the end so you can actually find out all the answers and all the questions that you probably have. I'm going to be answering them in this video. Now, if you don't know me, my name is TommyBryson. I'm an accountant, and I've been practicing personal finance for the past 4 years now. And on top of that, I'm probably the only YouTuber on the channel, on the platform, that uploads videos every single day without missing a single day whatsoever. When it comes to debit cards, credit cards, whatever you're thinking, I'm making a video about it. So make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever I upload a new video. Now, on top of that, I always ask you guys a question before the video starts, and here it is. Is this the first time you're hearing about the Go Henry Debit Card for Kids? Is it not? What do you guys think about it if you heard about it before? And where do you hear about it if you have heard about it? Now, me personally, I have heard about it from the comments down below, but that's about it. I haven't been hit with any like ads or anything like that whatsoever. So it has all been like organic in a sense. So let me know where you heard about it or if this is the first time you're actually hearing about it in the comments down below. So now that you commented, I do want to go over some of the details when it comes to the entire debit card and also tell you some of my concerns about the Go Henry account. And then after we get through this, we call customer service and then we actually find out exactly what the service has to offer. So here's how it works, right? It's basically a debit card that comes with an app that allows parents to be able to set up allowances and also chores for their kids to actually pay them. For example, if I'm a kid, which I'm not, and I'm between the ages of 6 to 18, well, my parents can set up like a whole bunch of different chores like, oh, clean your bed, clean your bedroom, wash the dishes, wash the car, and all this stuff. And every single time I complete one of those chores, I click, hey, I completed, and I get that money automatically into my account instantly. And I have this debit card that I can use in stores, online stores, like wherever, and I can also go to the ATM with it and take money out. So that's basically how it works. Now, if you don't know anything about the company, it's a UK company that just recently expanded to the US, and they have over 500,000 families in the entire system. So this is not like a new application, and it's not like we just started. They've been doing this for a while and they have a lot of experience. So I'm expecting good things. But here are my concerns, guys. My main concern is this. One, privacy. When it comes to my kids' privacy, what information do you need? What information do you store? What happens if it gets leaked? What's going to happen with all that stuff, right? And I'm going to answer all those questions later on in the video because I have all those answers because I already did all the research. And my second concern is this. How does it compare to its competitor, Greenlight? And if you want to find out, let's call customer service right now and ask them all the hard questions that no one has probably asked them before. So let's call right now and find out. Stick around. So before we call, I do want to ask you guys one question. So far, by all the information I just gave you, let me know in the comments down below. What do you think about the Go Henry app so far? Let me know if privacy is a big deal for you, if it's not a big deal. And let me know if you have the Greenlight account or if you don't have it. Let me know in the comments down below right now before we actually call. So let's call right now.
Thanks for calling Go Henry. All our agents are currently assisting other callers.
Okay, so usually what I'm looking for is a wait time less than 5 minutes and an easy way to just get in contact with a human being if you're calling in over the phone. The first thing I see is that they're giving me a whole bunch of options instead of talking to like a human being. So I already don't really like that, but let's see the wait time. Yeah, and while I'm holding, it keeps like interrupting and saying like, hey, just in case you want to just like check it out online and just like look for the answer yourself or just like contact us or chat, just go do that. Like if I'm calling in, it's because I want to talk to a human being, okay?
We apologize, but all our agents are still busy. Please hang up and either try your call again later or email us at help@gohenrycard.com.
So apparently here's what happened. They definitely just told me that, you know, the wait time is too long. So they literally just canceled on me, and which I don't really like that at all. You know, so I'm going to call back. I'm going to give it another try and let's see if it actually works. I'm not happy about this at all.
Thank you for calling Go Henry.
Hi, it's reached Go Henry. Speaking, how can I help?
I'm not a customer yet, but I'm calling in to ask you guys a few questions, if that's cool, see if it's a good fit for my family. Is that cool with you?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, awesome. So what are some of the requirements when it comes to joining the Go Henry team and stuff like that?
So it's not really many requirements as such. All we do is kind of a small identity check on the account. As we're providing a financial service, we are required by the US Patriot Act to do so.
Okay.
All that means is we're matching your name against an address, and that's about it. So all that really requires is for you to have up-to-date identification documentation, and as long as that's the case, then you should be able to fly through the sign-up process absolutely fine.
Okay, awesome. And you guys are checking like my information, right? Not like my kids' information, right?
Nope, so no check against your kids' information. All we really require regarding your children is a name and a date of birth, but we don't run any checks on the children. We don't run any credit checks or anything like that.
Okay, awesome. And the customer service, is it 24/7 or is it just from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.?
It's 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. EST, but that is 7 days a week. I believe we shut for 2 bank holidays a year, but other than that, we're contactable every single day.
Okay, awesome. And how much does the service cost on a monthly basis?
It's $3.99 per month per child for the Go Henry service.
Okay, per month per child. So for example, we have 3 kids, so that would be $3.99 per each kid, right?
Each child, yeah, for the month.
Okay, and can they? For example, we travel a lot during the year, so if they have like their own debit cards, can they shop like outside of the U.S. also, like when we are on vacation?
Yes, they can. There are a few fees involved with that, but I believe it's only about let's say $2 at an ATM, and then a 2.75% increase for any transaction made in store. But fully possible for them to use their cards outside of the U.S. if you are going traveling.
Okay, awesome. And you did mention that that's outside of the U.S. So for example, if there's any like whenever my kids like go to an ATM in the U.S. to take out money, do you guys cover the U.S. the ATM subcharge fee, or do we have to pay that also?
We do. There is a fee. It's a $1.50 fee at an ATM using the Go Henry cards within the U.S.
Okay, and is that $1 fee for you guys, or is it on top of the subcharge that the ATM already charges?
It's on top of the ATM charges. So there'll be your ATM charge, and then there'll be the Go Henry charge of $1.50 as well.
Okay, awesome. And are there any other fees associated with the account? Like for example, I did notice that you guys have like a foreign transaction fee, foreign ATM fee increase from a $1.50 to a $2 fee. Is there any other fees like associated with the account?
I don't believe so. I believe if there's a customized card, so if you chose to have a picture in the card, there's a $4.99 one-off fee. However, there's no type of cancellation fee. There's no money. There's no fee involved to put money onto the Go Henry card. It really is just the ATM fee and the monthly membership fee that you'll be paying with Go Henry.
Okay, awesome. And if I want to send money to my kids, there's no fees for that, right?
No fees at all involved in sending money over to your children.
Okay, awesome. And for example, you guys have like a savings accounts within the app for the kids?
There is a savings facility. You don't get interest on that savings facility. However, what they can do is they can set themselves up a goal. So let's say they want to save $200 by August. And then what Go Henry will do is they'll calculate out of their pocket money how much they will need to save per week in order to reach their goal. So it's kind of a more child-friendly savings account, I would say.
Okay, awesome. And do you guys plan on offering maybe a feature where the parent can set up the interest on the account? We
are looking on kind of different ways. I haven't really heard anything, any kind of speak about the interest that can be put on by the parent. However, we do have a suggestions and improvements form that we have. And if you put any suggestion on there, then what happens is management at Go Henry and quite high up management take a look at that improvements form every month, and they see what they can implement and what will be a good idea to Go Henry. So, if you find that with Go Henry there's something that you'd like to introduce, then get in touch with us and we'll be more than happy to put that forward to management for you.
Okay, awesome. And do you guys have any like reading material within the app to like help the kids like read about like how important saving money is, like maybe investing also? Are there any materials like that?
I believe we do have a blog that we do have with Go Henry. Let me just check if we've got that, because I know we have that for the UK.
Okay.
So let me just check if we've got the same for the US. Yep, we have a blog. So we have a blog, and that will be for kind of all reading ages, especially for parents and things like that. And it's getting involved with online shopping, chores, charities, and things like that. So yeah, there is reading materials on finance within Go Henry. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And do you guys like, for example, I did notice you guys have like different like little features like to set up goals for savings. Are there any like long-term goals? Like for example, is there a limit on how long they can be saving for? Because for example, if I want to start giving my kids maybe like $200 every single month to save up like towards college, can they do that within the app and like for long-term like periods of savings? Like for example, if they wanted to save like maybe $100,000 for college by the time they turn 18 and they're 6 right now, can they do that?
I mean, they should be able to. I believe that you should be able to set a savings goal without a time limit on there. So yeah, they should be able to just have a savings pot, if you will, where they can just keep adding money onto until they reach the age of 18 and finish with Go Henry.
Okay, awesome. And for example, since kids like most of the time they have their phones on them more than their wallets or anything like that, can they set up Apple Pay
Yeah.
with the entire Go Henry debit card?
Not at the moment. That is not something that we offer at the moment. However, it is something that we are looking into very seriously.
Okay.
We haven't been in talks with getting Apple Pay and everything like that, or getting the cards associated with their phone, not just with Apple Pay, but with Google and everything like that.
Okay.
So yeah, we have been very seriously looking into that, and that is something that we will be releasing to our members within the near future.
Okay, awesome. And some of my kids, for example, I have one kid that he's like 14, and he loves like the entire like I don't know what I think it's called Venmo and Cash App and also PayPal. Like he sends money to his friends like using that. Can he use his debit card to also send money to his friends with the Go Henry debit card?
Cash apps, unfortunately not. However, I know that PayPal you can set up with Go Henry.
Okay.
We don't advise that they do, because obviously with PayPal you do need to be over the age of 18. However, you can associate your Go Henry card with a PayPal account,
Okay.
whether it be your PayPal account or whatever. You can associate with a PayPal, but unfortunately not Cash apps.
Okay, I understand. So it would have to be like I'm the owner of the PayPal, and then I can track all the transactions that they
Of
do
the
through there
PayPal.
also. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And for example, how many chores can I add onto the app?
I believe that's kind of limitless. I don't believe there's
really?
actually. Yeah, I don't believe that there is a kind of a limit on how many chores that you can put on there.
Okay, awesome. And for example, in the app, would it be like, for example, Brenda, Nick, and Brandon, like they would all have like the little categories for different types of chores, right?
Exactly, yeah. So you'll be able to set chores to specific children, and then when they're old enough, or if they do have the app on their phone, what they can do is they can log into their individual accounts and see the chores that have been set for them, which they can tick off, which will kind of impact their individual weekly allowances.
Yeah.
So it can be modified for every single child that you have on there.
Okay, awesome. And when it comes to like how much I can pay the kids for doing whatever chore, are there any limits on the amount of money I can put in there?
No limits at all. That's completely up to you.
So really, so for example, if I wanted them to like wash the dishes and I said like, okay, $200, that's fine.
Yeah, that should be fine. I mean,
Okay.
it's completely up to you. Every family is different.
Yeah.
So we try to cater for that. So if you would like to put that, as the amount, then that's completely fine.
Okay, awesome. And when it comes to transferring that money in, how does that work? Like, how long does it actually take for them to receive the money? Is it instant, or is it kind of like I'm transferring money from my bank account to the Go Henry account, and then from there, all the money that gets sent to them for their allowances is instant because it's already in the account, or does it take, or does it get take away from my bank account instantly to the Go Henry account to my kids? If that makes
So
sense.
it does kind of go like that. So yes, there is a transfer from your bank account into Go Henry and then to your children.
Okay.
However, say I don't know, they'll be getting so let's just say $50 allowance for each of your children per week,
Okay.
and that's including all the chores that they've done.
Okay.
You can put, let's say, $150 into your parent account,
Yeah.
into your Go Henry account at the beginning of the month,
Yeah.
and then each week what it will do, it should feed that instantaneously to your children.
Okay.
So you can say that you want their allowance to be paid on a Friday, and then automatically and instantaneously on that Friday the money will be paid to your children.
Okay.
But that's as long as you have the money in your parents' account to do that.
And how long does it take to get the money from my regular bank to my parents' account?
That's straight away as well, so there should be no delay in getting the money from your bank account into Go Henry.
Really? And there's no fee attached to that?
No fee attached to that at all. That's just a debit card transfer.
Okay.
So if there was any fee, I believe that Go Henry would have absorbed that for our members.
Yeah.
So that transfer is free and instantaneous for you.
Okay, awesome. So for example, because sometimes my kids might go on a field trip and they might run into an emergency or anything like that, and if I wanted to send like money to them instantly, that is possible, right?
Completely possible. Yeah, so if you find that all of a sudden they need, let's say $200, you can do that straight away and it will get to your children straight away.
Okay, awesome. And I did notice that on the entire like app, you guys have like little features that you can actually turn on. Like for example, like you're able to to use the ATM, able to buy online, able to buy like on the physical stores. Whenever I switch those on or off, is that real time?
Real time, yeah. So they should come into effect straight away as well.
Okay, awesome. Oh wow, that's pretty cool. And how many charities can I? Because I did notice you guys have a feature to like donate money to charities to actually to teach the kids that they can also like spend money, earn money, and also like give back money. So how many charities am I able to give back money to, or is it charities that you guys already picked?
So we've already picked one, which is the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, that you can look
Okay.
into if you would like. However, we're always looking at charities that we can donate to, and we can, you know, give the children a choice about which one.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's different charities that are closer to different people's hearts.
Okay.
So, you know, as we say, if you've got any suggestion with a type of charity that you'd like to put on there, then send it over to us, and we'll be more than happy to kind of push that forward to higher management to review to put on the app for the children to donate to.
Awesome. Awesome. And when it comes, for example, I did notice that your mission statement is basically like, you know, to teach the kid how to earn money, spend money, and also how to give money. Do you think anytime in the future there might be like maybe like an invest feature also within the app so they can also learn how to grow their money?
I actually believe that is that might be something that we possibly will be looking into. Yeah, as you say, it's a great way for them to kind of learn about growing their money. So yeah, I believe that is something that we may be looking into in the near future, or in the future for Go Henry.
Okay, awesome. And for example, when it comes to fraud protection, because you know we are dealing with kids that might be between 6 to 18 years old, and they might go online, maybe buy something that, you know, maybe they order something without knowing what it really is, and then they get scammed or anything like that. Is there any fraud protection with the card?
Yes, so we are with CFSB, which is the Community Federal Savings Bank. So they're kind of regulated by the Office of Controller of the Currency. So each card holder, you are covered up to $250,000 by the FDIC, which is the federal laws of the United States. So they're a member of FDIC.
Yeah, that's for I think that's
so that is protection.
Yeah, I think.
Sorry, so there is protection in place for all of you.
Yeah, so I think the FDIC entire thing is just in case like the bank fails or anything like that, like the government backs it up. But for example, like if there's a transaction in the account that my kid doesn't recognize or I don't recognize, and maybe their account got hacked or something like that, is there any liability insurance? Like for example, that's what I'm asking.
So what we do as a company, I don't know what we kind of insure in each transaction. However, what we can do is we can raise chargebacks on your behalf, and we can fight to get that money back on your behalf.
Okay.
I know in some cases what we will do is we will cover the amount. However, it is kind of done on a case-by-case basis, if that makes sense. So it kind of depends on what the transaction is, in what way has it occurred, and everything like that.
Okay,
so that is then raised to our operational team, who looks into everything, every transaction as a case-by-case basis.
Okay, awesome. And for example, when it comes to privacy for my kid, I assume you guys need like their name, their address, their last name. Do you guys need like also their social security number and all that extra stuff?
No, so the only social security number we ask for is your own. For your children, it's literally just their name and their date of birth. Their address kind of falls under the category of your own address.
Okay.
However, all of that information is very secure. But yeah, the only information we'll ever ask from your children is their name and their date of birth.
Okay, awesome. And I did read a little bit about the company, and apparently you guys only keep like my name and like my basic information, but like the really big information you guys pass it on to like one of the top companies when it comes to security. Is that true? I think I saw Alex, the CEO, talking about that.
Would you be able to repeat that for me, please? I think the line kind of cut out a little bit there.
Okay, no problem. Basically, what I'm saying is this, that I did notice that your CEO spoke a little bit about this. He basically said that in the company itself, you guys only keep like the first name, like your name, your address, and all that extra stuff. But when it comes to like the personal information, like your social security and all that extra stuff, you guys like pass it on to a third party company to keep that like 100% secure.
I believe so. I mean, I know that I don't have any type of access, from people, from our member services all the way up to our CEO. Yeah, your social security number and everything like that is I've forgotten the word for it now. It's encrypted. That's
encrypted.
it. So it's encrypted within exactly. And so we have no type of access to any of that type of information whatsoever. Even down to the Go Henry card numbers. Yeah. We don't have that stored in our systems at all.
Okay, awesome. That's awesome because you never really know what might happen. And if there is a data breach, that all the information can leak. But since you guys don't process it and it's all encrypted, then that's great. That's awesome. And for example, do you guys like is there like an overdraft protection feature on the card, or they can only spend what they have on the account? Meaning, can the account go negative at any point?
It's prepaid, and we do everything that we can to make sure that it doesn't go negative. So yeah, they can only spend what they have on their account. Okay. If they ever even try to go over the amount that they've got on there, it automatically gets declined. Okay. So yeah, and that's why we kind of have a pre-authorization feature on our accounts, so that we're always checking the amount that they've got on their cards, so that they don't fall into that negative balance. We try to, protect them in that sense as much as we can. Okay,
awesome. But for example, if in any case it does go negative, because sometimes, kids might buy something on Amazon and they might receive the product and they might not charge it on time, and then they might think they have that money, so then they spend it, and then when the charge comes through, it's negative. If it does go negative, is there any fee associated with that we would have to cover as the parents?
No, so I believe, in the rare cases that it can go negative, there's no fee involved in, we don't charge a fee for you going into a negative balance. I believe that all we ask for is for the payment to be made to make the account positive again. So it's just, we've noticed the account's fallen into a negative balance. Would you please load up the card to make sure that negative balance is no longer in place? I believe that's the kind of route that we go down if that was to ever happen.
Okay, awesome. And just to double check, there's no limit on how much money they can save in that account. So like they can have $1 million in there, and that's fine, right?
I'm not sure, just because we never really noticed any type of saving like that. I don't know if
yeah, because my main thing, me and my wife, basically, we want to build like a big nest egg for like a younger kid. His name is Tyler, and he's around like 6 years old, and we want to get him that card, but $500 every single month on that savings account is gonna add up pretty quickly,
Yeah, so I believe if there was, I don't believe that there's a limit that they've put on there. I believe that if we notice a high amount being saved, then there would be emails sent back and forth just to make sure that, obviously that's protected as much on your behalf that it is, so we just want to make sure that everything's okay on the account and everything like that, but I don't imagine that there's any type of limit that you could save on there.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. So I'm going to take this information, talk to my wife about it, and then see what she thinks about the entire thing.
Fantastic. All right. Well, if there's anything else that we can do to help, just give us a call.
All right. Thank you. So have a good day. I did get kind of hanged up on, but when I called back, I got on the phone fairly quickly. And here's my thing, right? Customer service at this point, as you guys can tell, is very good. She knew everything she was talking about. She did a very good job, and I really liked it. All the questions I actually had, she answered all of them. There was no hold times. There was no anything like that. So what it shows me is that she's experienced and she actually knows exactly what she's talking about 100% of the time. Any question that she didn't know, she just told me like, hey, Tommy, it works like this, it works like that. And I believe it does work like this. And any problem that you might have with some feature that we don't have, we're very open to analyzing that feature and seeing if we can actually bring it out. So I really do appreciate that type of stuff. But here are some of the pros. But before I tell you guys the pros, actually, let me know in the comments down below. What did you think about the customer service call? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you wish I asked more questions, or did you wish I asked less questions? Let me know in the comments down below before I tell you the pros and cons. So now that you commented, let me tell you guys the pros and cons to the entire Go Henry account. The first thing is this, that they do have caps on weekly spending. So for example, whatever you give them, they can't go over that amount. So for example, if I have a kid, give him $50, he can't spend 100, okay? And it's very easy to have that kid manage his money when he only has a set amount of money. Second pro is this, automatic allowances. If I don't want to think about the entire thing, I just want to give the money and then that's it. Do the chores, you get the money, boom, boom, boom. I don't really want to think about it. That's automatic for me also, so that's pretty cool. I also like that everything is instant, because sometimes your kids might be in an emergency or anything like that, and you can actually transfer money ASAP, which is a very big feature for me because everything is immediately, and I really like that feature. Now, the third feature is this. If you don't want your kids to go to an ATM or go to a store or buy online, you can turn on and off all those features and they work instantly. Like for example, if you don't want your kid to go to an ATM to take out the money, because once they do that, you don't really know what they're spending it on, then you can just have them pay with an entire, with your debit card, like at physical stores and online, but not with an ATM. So you can keep track of all the money they're spending and where they're actually spending it. If that's a good feature for you, sounds pretty good to me. The fourth thing is this, notifications. When they use the card, you get notified instantly. They tell you, hey, they spent money on this, you spent money on that. I think eventually you'll want to turn that off because you want to build trust with them and you kind of just want to look it over at the end of the week. On top of that, you can use that to actually create a budget for your kid and actually say like, hey, you spent this, you spent this, you spent this. Maybe you shouldn't have spent money on that, and maybe you could have had a better budget, and maybe you could have kept growing your savings over here. And I do want to talk about the savings accounts and they have no interest whatsoever later on in the video, but let's just focus on the pros for right now. Now, the fifth pro is that you can actually block the card just in case it does get stolen or anything does happen to the card. So that's pretty good because you never know. It is a kid, they can't even keep a lollipop in their pants. So if they lose the entire debit card, you can actually just turn it off or just block it and no one will be able to use it. And I'm assuming that they just send you a new one and then you're good to go like that. I should have asked if they have an entire debit card fee, to actually send in a new debit card. I'm pretty sure it might be, I'm pretty sure they have one, okay? I'm almost guaranteeing they have one, but that's fine. Now, the sixth pro is that it has weekly recurring chores. So every single week, everything resets and they have to do it all over again and they get paid all over again. And that's pretty cool. But I'm going to talk later on in the video why I don't think that's the best feature ever. Now, personalize the card. You can actually personalize the card. They can put their picture. And by the way, if you didn't know, this is a crazy tip, okay? The card name is like Go Henry, but if your kid's name is like Elizabeth or anything like that, you can actually put like Go Elizabeth, Go Tommy, Go Bill, Go whatever it is. That's pretty cool, very personalized, and I really like that about the entire thing. I think, yeah, you can actually, and by the way, you have to pay to personalize the card, just so you know. The 7th pro is that you can actually donate money inside the app. I think that's pretty cool. A lot of parents miss out on the entire donating money. So a lot of kids kind of grow up selfish, like, oh my gosh, yeah, I earned money, I'm gonna spend my money, and that's about it. But if you can donate money and actually have that kid understand where that money is going and who is it helping, you actually, like, you know, raise a kid that actually knows about everything around his area. So that's pretty cool to me. Now, it is multi-platform supportive. So for example, they can use it from their phone, their laptops, their tablets. All that stuff is supportive, and the app seems to be like a very good app. I say seems to be because, hey, they have a 4.5, 4.7, or 4.8 star on the App Store, on the entire Apple Store. And guys, I trust that a lot because I know this. People are reckless when it comes to iPhones, and if they don't like an entire app, they like rate it like really low. So to even show that they have a very good entire rating, that's pretty good. And I like that everything is kind of like running very smoothly. That's really big because you want everything to run smoothly, no hiccups whatsoever, and everything should be running like that. Now, the last one is this. Put responsibility on spending on the kids. Now, I read a lot of interviews out there where parents say the main thing that this card actually helped me with is that to allow me to say no to my kids, basically because, hey, if you spent all your money, that's your responsibility. You have money on your debit card. If you want to buy something, you can buy it. If you don't have the money, you can't buy it. So the responsibility is on them to save their money or not to save their money. I think that's pretty cool, but I will be saying again in the cons now why I don't really like it that much. Now, before I actually tell you guys the cons, let me in the comments down below, what did you think about the pros? Now, the cons are this, okay? Micromanaging. The last thing I want, for example, if I was a kid and I could use my debit card and I had my parent like this with 2 big goggles, like looking at everything I do, that would kind of like freak me out. And I wouldn't even want to use it anymore. I would just be like, yo, just give me cash and then I'll just do whatever I want to do. Even though I'm not doing anything wrong with it, but it can be seen as micromanaging. So just make sure you give your kid freedom to kind of like buy whatever he wants to buy and just like stare at their business just a little bit, but you go over everything they're actually doing every single week, but just don't micromanage. Micromanaging can be like very destructive if you ask me. The second thing is this. Kids can just go to an ATM if you don't have that feature off and actually just use the money on whatever they want to use it on. And that's probably a result of micromanaging. So for example, if you tell your kid, yeah, you can use cash, and they tell you like, yeah, mom, I can only buy the food with the cash. That's why I'm using the cash. But they might lie to you, use the money to buy something else. So just make sure you're not micromanaging anybody because that is a direct result of micromanaging. Now, the third thing is this. I know a lot of people out there say, Tommy, you don't want to pay your kids for chores. It's pretty like crazy. You don't want to do that. And the reality is this, right? I don't mind paying something for the work they do. I just mind what they do with the money is the big thing for me. So for example, I saw one of the interviews, one of the kids was like, you know, my favorite thing about the entire app is that it tells me when my next paycheck is due, you know, and it's kind of like, I don't really like that feature that much because it's kind of like, you know, you're building this entire employee mentality inside of this kid. So for example, you work, you get paid, and that's kind of like an employment mentality, and I kind of want to build an investor mentality inside of my kid. So for example, when I asked her all about those investment questions about how to grow your money, that's directly for me because, for example, I just want my kid to learn how to grow their money. Making money is easy. Growing your money is the difficult part. So for me, it might seem like you're doing a very good thing, but it might be destructive if your kid only learns how to earn money and spend money, maybe just save a little, but that's not enough. Actually, growing your money is the big feature. And if you're wondering how that works, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it later on in the video, so stick around for that. Now, the fourth con is this, guys. It's that $3.99 is kind of expensive for each kid. For example, if I had 3 kids, 4 times 3, that's $12 every single month. 12 times 12 is $144 every single year. It might be a lot of money, and you might say, Tommy, that's not a big deal whatsoever. It's only $3.99, bro. Why are you so cheap? And the answer is this, because I have something to compare it to. When you compare it to the Greenlight app, Greenlight only charges you, I think, between $4.99 to $5.99 for the entire family. So if I have 10 kids, 12 kids, it's only $4.99, okay? And $3.99 is kind of expensive. Now, people do say that this app has a lot of features, but by the features that I already heard about, the same features as the entire Greenlight account, you know? Allowances, chores, you send the money instantly. Sounds pretty good, you know? So it's kind of like the same thing, but my main concern is this. If the app works as it says it works, then the price might be worth it. And $3.99, by the way, if I was a parent, which I'm not yet, but I will be, like, you know, pretty soon maybe, but if I was a parent, I would have the kid cover the entire maintenance fee every single month. because that's his responsibility for having that card. And then that's something you should instill in them, because you shouldn't be covering any of that stuff, okay? Let the kid pay for the maintenance fee, and that's how you avoid the maintenance fee. How about that? So far, guys, let me know in the comments down below, what do you think of the pros and the cons? Which pro is a big pro for you? Which con is like, oh my gosh, I don't want that to happen? Let me know in the comments down below what you think really quick. Now, I do want to tell you guys some of the facts about the company, how the company works, just to make sure you guys have an overall idea of how the entire company atmosphere actually is. Now, here's the first detail I do want to tell you guys about the company. The first thing is this: customer acquisition is only around $15. So they spend around $15 to get that customer, and then they make around $60 net profit by the end of that customer's lifetime in the company. You might say, Tommy, how do you know this stuff? Do you work for the feds? And the answer is no. I just looked up one of the interviews with the CEO, and he said all this information. That's how I know all this stuff. The second thing is this: 77% of all the revenue comes from the fees. So I understand if the fees are very high, just so they can cover all the costs, because I do know this: whenever you transfer money instantly, there is a cost associated with that. So they seem to be covering it. So there is a few things that they're actually covering, and the entire like 2% and the 1.5, what is it, $1.50 for the ATMs. I think that's a lot of money, you know. But in reality, I just wouldn't have them use it at all. Just use your debit card. Don't use cash. If you want cash, I'll give you the cash and I'll deduct it from your allowance for next week. That's what I would do, you know, just to avoid that fee. Now, the other 23% of the income and the revenue that actually comes into the company, it comes from, you know, those fees from the ATMs, the subcharges, and all those little other things that you actually have. And also creating those custom cards that actually charge you a fee for that. So that's some revenue in the company also. And I'm wondering about this stuff a lot because I'm wondering about the life of the company. And so far, the acquisition of each customer is pretty low, not a big deal, but I do hope they can actually lower it so the company can actually be more profitable, because a more profitable company means that the customer gets a lot more value. Now, the third fact about this company is this: they're actually targeting the US a lot more. And the reason is because in the US, you're kind of used to paying for these services, okay? But in the UK, banking is kind of free. So in the US, it might tell you like, hey, it's just $3.99. You might say, oh my gosh, that's pretty cheap. You know, it's no big deal. It's just a latte every single month. But in the UK, they might say like, oh, you have to pay for this? It's banking. Like, what would I have to pay, you know? But in the US, it's very simple. Everyone understands it. And then that's why they're actually targeting the US, because they know US individual citizens, like, they pay for these features, and there's no really like big problem. There's no learning curve whatsoever, because they're aware of all this stuff, and parents are actually more likely to actually invest into this stuff for their kids. So that's why they're actually targeting the US. And I'm not making this stuff up. He said this in one of his interviews also. And if you're wondering also, Tommy, if it costs them $15 to actually, you know, get the customer, well, they're actually, by the way, here's where it kind of gets kind of weird, you know, because he does say it's $15 to get the customer, and then we make $60 net profit at the end of the lifetime of the entire customer. And he also did say that they invest that money, and in 12 months they actually make back the money that they spent to actually get the customer. So I'm not sure if he's exaggerating the profits or if he's like diluting the profits. I'm not sure when it comes to that, but it's kind of weird. So for example, what he's saying is that the company is profitable because they do spend money on getting customers, but they get it all back at the end of the year, meaning that they spend good money on marketing, but they also know how to get the money back, which is very important for a company. Now, let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about the facts, the pros, the cons, the company itself, the customer service call? Let me know right now before I actually tell you my final thoughts. So let me know right now what you actually think about everything before I tell you my final thoughts. So now that you commented, I do want to say this. I do like this app just a little bit. It kind of makes sense to me. It's pretty cool. I like the customer service. You did a very good job. I just don't like that I can't get on the phone instantly all the time, 24/7. But I do understand that because, you know, they have a lot of overhead expenses, and I get the business behind the business. So that's pretty cool to me. Don't really mind as long as I have good customer service during a time period. And the second thing is this. This is not like the best step for parents. Like, for example, this is not like the craziest thing ever. You know, this is just the first step to teach your kid how to deal with money, but it's not the final one. It's just like the first step. So if you get this debit card, you teach them how to save, how to spend money, how to earn money, but you also have to teach them how to grow money. And here's where that information comes in. You can't do that inside of this app, and you can't even earn interest. So I don't even recommend they actually save money within this app. I recommend you get them a high yield savings account, and you just make a contract or a will or a trust that says, for example, you know, I'm saving money under my name, but it's on his behalf. And if anything were to happen to me, all the money would go to him. You know, that's how it works. So for example, if you're paying them money, you say like, hey, we're actually going to save the money here because your money is going to grow more at a 2.50% or 2.30% interest rate rather than getting no interest with Go Henry. On top of that, I'm actually going to start buying you investments in stocks and all this other stuff. Like mutual funds and index funds are always the best investments for kids because they're going to be doing it for a long time, and you don't want to invest money into an individual stock because it has been proven that like every decade or so, the best countries that you might think are the best, they usually go bankrupt. So just invest into the index funds. That way your money is safe and it grows with the market, not against the market. So do that and then show them like their stocks are growing and all that stuff. And as soon as they come of age, you can actually put the money into their name, and then that's good. But also, I'm thinking by the time they turn like 14 to 16, they should have like a normal little part-time job and be learning how to make their own money and not making money by just doing things that you should be doing, okay? So eventually have them put their own money inside of those little things, okay? Because that's very important. And that's why I say it's only the first step, but not the last step. There's a lot of work when it comes to this, and investing their money is the best feature because I'm pretty sure no parent out there wants to raise an employee, just an employee, but you also want to raise a kid that knows how to make more money and have money work for him and not him work for money. That's a big mistake if you do that. Okay, so you're probably asking me at this point, Tommy, do you recommend this app? Do you not recommend it? And my answer is this. When it compares to Greenlight, it's kind of like the same thing, you know? So my question is this. Would I get this entire like debit card, Go Henry, for my little sister? And the answer is, I wouldn't. I wouldn't, you know? And that's because I'm kind of cheap, you know? Because, for example, I can get this exact same feature at Greenlight, you know? And I could just pay like $5. But I just have one sister. So in reality, I probably would get the Go Henry. So I do recommend it. The customer service was great. The features are great. I just don't like the ATM fees and the transaction fees and all that extra stuff. So if you can get around all those little things, like I would recommend it 100%. So in reality, I wouldn't mind getting this card for my little sister to teach her how to save her money and also spend her money, but I wouldn't save her money into this account. Unless they can actually offer some interest rates inside of the accounts, I would 100% offer it, like 100%. But right now, I'm like at an 80%. It's a very good app. It makes sense. It's awesome. It's great. But I just wish you guys would fix those features. And that's about it. But I do recommend it. Pretty good. But if you have more than 3 kids or more than 4 kids or maybe even more than 2 kids, just get the Greenlight one because it's kind of like the same thing. But if it's not, comment down below and let me know what difference there is. Let me know if you like it. Let me know if you don't like it. Let me know if you're going to get it. Let me know all those details and information. And I wish someone would go in the comments down below and tell me, hey, Tommy, you're wrong because Greenlight offers this, Go Henry offers this. And if it makes sense, then it makes sense. I recommend you guys go with the best product. But for me, from what I'm looking at right now, kind of the same thing. Okay, as always, guys, thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, go ahead and leave a big thumbs up. Every time you guys do that, it helps the channel out a lot. And we have been growing at a steady, big rate because you guys have been pushing the like button and also commenting down below. Really appreciate that. And as always, guys, I do upload videos every single day. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever I upload a new video. And if you want to talk to me one-on-one, uno a uno, just DM me on Instagram at TommyBryson and we can talk through their DMs 100%. I respond to all my DMs. And I'll see you guys next time in the next video. Thanks for watching and peace.
You've got to start at the bottom if you're ever gonna reach the top. You've gotta watch all the